Holy shit, welcome to episode 1 of Untamed Intimacy. Yeah, I've been wanting to say it just like that smooth, buttery, jazzy tone. I'm so fucking excited to be here with you today. This podcast has been a long time coming, and holy shit, I'll probably say shit and fuck like 20 times in this episode because I cannot contain my excitement. All right, this is the pilot episode of Untamed Intimacy, and I want to use this time today to talk about what untamed intimacy is, why it's important, and how we can create it. And I thought it'd be best to start with a few poetic renditions of untamed intimacy before I get into any sort of definition of what it is. So I'm going to share a few pieces, poems, spoken word pieces, um, by three people, one of them being myself, around what untamed intimacy means in poetic form. And so I'm going to start by reading one of my spoken word pieces. And when I first wrote this, I called it What I Want in a Man. And this is the verbal depiction of what untamed intimacy means to me. I'm a little loquacious and hella flirtatious, captured by wit and charm and a man who's truly gracious. Let's pitch and catch with our words, show me that you're witty, have me coming back for seconds and thirds, both playing nice and getting gritty. I want to feel that you're real and multidimensional, experience your appeal, let's go beyond the conventional. I want to travel your mind and let you see mine. Go to a place where there's no time as we cross the borderline. Into a parallel universe, getting to converse as we traverse the cosmos and immerse ourselves in free verse and free love. I believe that this is possible, not just plausible, but probable, believable, conceivable, dreamable, because I'll be daydreaming, scheming of things that don't be seeming real. But you know what makes them real? My zeal and how I choose to feel. I bring things to life with my vibration, align with what I want and sing my incantation, affirmation. I create what I desire. And I desire you, a man who lights my fire. A man like you who stokes the flame that I have sparked. A man like you who supports the journey on which I've embarked. A man like you with the capacity of a king. A man like you who knows how to honor his queen. A man like you willing to recognize untruths and undue burdens, willing to shift the paradigm, stepping into the fullest version of you, reclaiming enlightened masculinity while standing in your truth. In parallel, allowing me to do the same as I remember my divine femininity while I ascertain my wild nature within linear thought, the chaos I keep wrapped in this neat little box, the depth and range of my emotions in a single day, and how my intuition will never lead me astray. To you, I have gratitude, not because I can't do it on my own, but for the mirror you provide in showing me the unknown. Thank you for the reflection as we reveal my blind spots, bringing them from shadow to light, gently untangling the knots. My heart is filled with love for you and for me, and for all those around us who simply want to be so deeply in love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's the first time I've ever shared a spoken word piece on air. I'm jazzed, I'm nervous. Thank you for listening. That was what a piece that I wrote when I was calling in my divine masculine, my partner Ani. That was what I wanted in a man, in my partner. And that's my concept of untamed intimacy, is this man who holds an ever-present, unconditionally loving space for me to be all parts of me, whether I'm a raging tsunami or as calm as a babbling brook. I don't know if babbling brooks are calm, but who's as calm as a spring meadow. That sounds like a good depiction of calm. And what I found on this journey to creating untamed intimacy and romantic partnership was that I had to create that in relationship to myself first. So that spoken word piece not only depicts my divine masculine or any divine masculine outside of me, but also the divine masculine within me that holds space for myself. The version of me, the part of me who sees myself through all of my highs and lows, ups and downs, and all arounds, and who holds that unwavering, ever present, and ever loving space for my feminine to be however the fuck she is. Okay, I've got another piece here that I love. And this is a piece from Kim Anami. And she's an amazing teacher of sacred and conscious sexuality. And this piece is also a beautiful representation of untamed intimacy. And it's called The Holy Fuck. Somehow I intuited this at an early age, that the fuck was my salvation. That if I truly gave myself to it, I would be delivered. I trusted the fuck, and the fuck hasn't let me down. There is an art to the phoenix fuck, the fuck that changes everything. It's not for the faint of heart or genitals. It will ask everything of you. During my very first epic sex weekend many years ago, holed away in a cabin in the forest, away from everything but each other, time and space opened up. My vagina opened up. My heart opened up. And the whole world changed. If you think that your entire purpose here on this planet is to learn how to love, which I do, then at the very best outlet and learning arena for you is your romantic relationship. And the very best use of that relationship is a deep, obliterating, prioritized sexual connection. Remember what I said last week? We will fuck a lot, and fucking is important. Because when you are vulnerable sexually and vulnerable emotionally, you tap into the rawest, most powerful form of energy, the creative and birthing power of the universe. So that weekend, as I fucked my lover on the couch and in the bed and on the kitchen counters and up the walls of that cabin, I kept opening a layer deeper and another layer deeper. I went back to work on Monday and everything about me was different. I moved differently. I spoke differently. I had this deep calm that wove itself around me as a protective aura and as a magnetic one. Men were hitting on me constantly. They could sense viscerally, intuitively, my openness, my softness. They hovered around me. There were holes in me that I had been filling in other ways, through food, through substances. Those cravings evaporated. I only wanted to be filled by my lover. Oh, I just got choked up at that. Again and again, his hands, his cock, his mind. All of it smashed my silly human parts to pieces, and all that was left was a pure form of me. I saw that same thing happen to him. He'd been a heavy drinker when we met. Heavy, rock band, rock star heavy. He had, you could say, a temper. When we came together, these things also disintegrated in him. A stronger, truer him emerged. We were able to recognize and love the dormant parts of each other, intellectually, genitally. That love amplified our deeper selves and brought them more out into the world, with confidence, with calmness. His cock became my salvation, as all good cocks ought to be. Now do you see why I love cocks so much? They are a direct pathway to God. So are vaginas, mind you. He could penetrate all of my resistance, all of my hard edges, and coax them to soften, or to give up and find something better to do. My ability to open up and envelop him, to draw him in deeply and hold nothing back, fed him. It made him a stronger man, a better man. Though still a wild man, but now he could channel his wildness into my vagina, where it was most welcome. Yes, a wild man is good to find. Like any spiritual practice, the fuck demands that you give yourself. You surrender. You open to something or someone greater than yourself. And then you find that the fuck won't just change your life, it will save your life. And it will help you live the life you were meant to. It's here. Come one, come all. Ah, this is a beautiful piece again by Kim Anami that talks about the untamed, unleashed version of the wildest version of ourselves and what happens when we give ourselves to the spiritual practice, the journey, the wild practice of divine union, of sex, of fucking, of rawness, of seeing and being seen. And a lot of this beautiful practice happens in communion and in partnership with our romantic partner or our lover. All right, I've got one more piece from an anonymous person on Reddit, actually, and they were answering a question on Tantra. And Tantra in the West here is held in a very watered down way. And Tantra, again, I want to share, is not only about tantric sex. It is way beyond that. It's an entire spiritual body, a way of life, a way of being in the world. What I am sharing here is a little more through the lens of sexuality as it relates to a sense of untamed intimacy, but it is not to be relegated or put in a corner of sexuality alone. So this person says, Tantra has a totally different idea. Tantra says, the appeal of sex is because it gives you a moment of egolessness, timelessness, meditation. Because of ego gratification, sex has become very, very superficial. It only scratches the skin. It does not go deep. It has no depth. So many people are worried about premature ejaculation. The reason? They don't love. If they love, then naturally they can make love for longer periods. The more you are in love, the longer the period will be. For hours, you can be in love because there's no hurry. The ego is not controlling and in no rush to get anywhere. In Tantra, coitus could remain for hours. It's kind of melting with the woman or partner, with the man. It is a kind of relaxation in each other's being. And it is meditative because there's no ego, no thought that stirs, no time stops. This is a glimpse of God. Tantra is a natural way to God, the normal way to God. The object is to become so completely instinctual, so mindless that we merge with ultimate nature, that the woman disappears and becomes a door to the ultimate, that the man disappears and becomes a door for the ultimate. This is the Tantra definition of our sexuality, the return to absolute innocence and absolute oneness. And while this piece is through the lens of our sexual nature, this is untamed intimacy, the door to our absolute truth in who we are, not held back by limitations or stories, fully expressed, raw and real, and also compassionate and loving. So it's not just spewing emotion and expression, it is a path to truth with love. And that is what this podcast is all about. It is all about our greatest thrills, our greatest desires, the need to not have a search for thrills at all, to be in silent waiting, to feel utterly relaxed, to feel utterly mindless. This is all the path to untamed intimacy. The path to our deeper sense of consciousness, our deeper sense of being, our deeper sense of beauty and benediction. And that's what I'm here to do through this podcast and through anywhere I share my work and my beliefs and my mission, is to create a space for conversation and work and play around what it looks like for each of us to own and reclaim untamed intimacy within ourselves and to create it out in the world with our romantic partners. I am so committed to that growth and exploration. And a part of that is in being in deep devotion and honoring to our own paths and our own journeys and our relationship. Taking the path to untamed intimacy is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who are willing to roll up their sleeves, to cut through the bullshit with piercing truth, and to wrap it up with compassion and love. And on that journey, we must be willing to let go of our old stories, our outdated beliefs about ourselves, about our partners, about love, about sex, about the world around us, and to be able to really see. And when I say see, I mean see through our third eye, through our mind's eye, the truth and the abundance that is around us, and the truth of who we are as infinite beings. And so it is my deep mission and my deep intention to guide powerful women and couples on this exploration to deeper self-love and self-acceptance through curiosity and play, through introspection, so that we can boldly open our hearts to ourselves and to others, so that we can give and receive epic love, orgasmic sex, and everything we truly desire. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me to Untamed Intimacy. I'm so excited to be rolling my sleeves up and getting juicy with you. And I can't wait to see you on this podcast and anywhere else that I share and speak. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what this journey is like for you. Wishing you much love and good vibes.